July 31st, 2000, 106 feet above sea level, Table Mountain, Teton County, Wyoming. Sarah George, 20 years old, collapses on the trail. Her lungs are burning, vision blurring, altitude sickness, dehydration. Her body is shutting down. Her friend Megan Freeman reaches for a cell phone. 1 bar of signal. She dials, "We need a helicopter, 2 miles from the summit." She can't move. 12 miles away, Harrison Ford hears it on his radio. He's 58 years old, worth $200 million. He could ignore this. Instead, he walks to his Bell 407 helicopter, starts the engine, and lifts off toward a mountain that barely has space to land. What he does in the next 37 minutes will save Sarah's life. What he does after will save someone else's faith in humanity. Here is the story. Jackson Hole, Wyoming, 7:42 a.m. Ford's ranch sits on 800 acres of wilderness. Most mornings, he's awake before sunrise. Coffee, silence. A radio on the kitchen counter tuned to 155.475 MHz. The emergency frequency for Teton County search and rescue. Most people will never hear this channel. Ford listens to it every single day. He's been a certified helicopter pilot since 1993. 7 years, 8,000 flight hours, fixed wing and rotary. He didn't learn to fly for movie roles. He learned because he loves it, and when he moved to Wyoming part-time, he did something most millionaires don't do. He volunteered. No payment, no publicity. Just his helicopter, his skills, and his time. The call comes in at 8:14 a.m. Female hiker, age 20, Table Mountain, altitude sickness, can't walk, needs immediate evacuation. Ford sets down his coffee, doesn't finish it, walks to the hangar. His Bell 407 sits waiting, red and white, 4 seats, maximum altitude, 20,000 feet. He's about to fly to 11,106. He climbs into the pilot seat, straps in, flips switches. The rotors begin to turn, slowly, then faster. The sound builds. A low whine becomes a roar. He checks the altimeter, the GPS. The wind speed, 47 miles per hour, gusting, not ideal. He lifts off anyway. Table Mountain, 8:31 a.m. Sarah George is lying on a rock. Her skin is pale, lips blue. Megan Freeman and 2 other hikers have carried her 2 miles from the summit. It took an hour. Sarah vomited twice. Now she's barely conscious. Megan keeps talking to her. Stay awake. Help is coming. Stay awake. Above them they hear it. The helicopter. It circles once, twice, looking for a place to land. The terrain is brutal, rocks everywhere, trees, steep inclines. There's a meadow, maybe 50 feet wide. Ford sees it, calculates. The space is tight. One wrong move and the tail rotor hits a tree. The helicopter goes down. He descends anyway. The Bell 407 touches dirt. The engine shuts off. The rotors slow. Stop. Silence. The door opens. A man steps out. T-shirt, jeans, cowboy hat. Megan looks at him. Doesn't recognize him. Doesn't care. Sarah needs help. Now. Ford walks over. Kneels next to Sarah. Can you hear me? Sarah nods, barely. We're going to get you to a hospital. Can you walk to the helicopter? She tries. Can't. Ford and another rescuer lift her, carry her the 30 feet to the aircraft, strap her into a seat. Megan starts to climb in. There's not enough room, Ford says. Weight limit, I can only take her. Megan stares at him. She's been with Sarah for 5 hours, watched her collapse, held her hand. Now she has to stay behind and hike down alone. She'll be okay, Ford says. I promise. Megan steps back, watches the helicopter lift off. It rises, banks left, disappears over the ridge. Inside the cockpit, Ford is flying fast. Too fast for comfort, but not fast enough for Sarah. She's conscious, but barely. Her head leans against the window. Ford glances at her every 10 seconds. Stay with me, he says. 5 more minutes. 3 minutes later, Sarah leans forward. Her stomach heaves. She vomits. Not out the window. into the hat of the EMT sitting behind her. The EMT doesn't flinch, just holds it. Ford keeps flying. They land at St. John's Hospital in Jackson, 12 minutes from the mountain. Paramedics rush out, load Sarah onto a stretcher, wheel her inside. Ford stays behind, cleans out the helicopter, wipes down the seats, doesn't mention who he is, doesn't wait for thanks. He flies back to his ranch, parks the helicopter, goes inside, finishes his coffee. It's cold now. He drinks it anyway. The local news picks up the story 2 days later. Actor Harrison Ford rescues hiker. Sarah George is interviewed from her hospital bed. She's recovering. The reporter asks if she knew it was Harrison Ford. "No," Sarah says. "He was wearing a t-shirt and a cowboy hat. He didn't look like I'd ever seen him before." Then she says the 6 words that will define the rescue. "I can't believe I barfed in Harrison Ford's helicopter." The clip goes viral. Late-night talk shows play it. The internet laughs. Ford doesn't comment, doesn't appear on TV, doesn't make jokes about it. He's already back on his ranch, back on the radio, waiting for the next call. 11 months later, July 10th, 2001, 9:47 p.m., Yellowstone National Park. Cody Clausen, 13 years old, realizes he's lost. He's a Boy Scout, Utah troop, camping trip. He wandered off the trail 2 hours ago. Thought he could find his way back. He can't. The forest looks the same in every direction. Trees, rocks, darkness. Temperature 43 degrees Celsius, dropping. Cody is wearing a t-shirt, shorts, sandals. That's it. No jacket, no sleeping bag, no flashlight. He starts walking, looking for a landmark. Anything. He walks for another hour. Nothing. The rain starts. Light at first, then heavier. Then it's not rain anymore. It's sleet. Ice pellets hitting his skin. He's shivering now. Can't stop. His teeth chatter. He looks for shelter, finds a cave, small, barely big enough to crawl into. He curls up inside, knees to chest. Arms wrapped around himself, he closes his eyes, prays someone will find him. 18 hours pass, July 11th, 2001, 8:03 a.m. Cody wakes up. He's cold, wet, hungry, but alive. Above him, he hears something. Helicopters. Multiple. He crawls out of the cave. Looks up. The sky is grey. The helicopters are circling, searching, but Yellowstone is 3,472 square miles. The odds of them seeing him are almost zero. Then Cody remembers something. His training. Search and Rescue Merit Badge. He took off his belt. The buckle is metal, shiny. He holds it up, angles it toward the sun. There's barely any sunlight through the clouds, but there's enough. He reflects it toward the helicopters. A flash, then another, then another. One of the helicopters changes course, banks hard, circles back, descends. Jackson Hole. 7:51 a.m. Harrison Ford is drinking coffee when the radio crackles. 13-year-old Boy Scout, missing since last night. Yellowstone, t-shirt and shorts, hypothermia risk. Ford sets down his coffee. Again. He's 59 now, 1 year older, one more rescue under his belt. He walks to the hangar, starts the Bell 407, lifts off, flies toward Yellowstone, joins 3 other helicopters in the search grid. They've been searching since sunrise. Nothing. Ford flies low, scanning trees, rocks, a creek. Nothing. Then a flash. Small. Metal. He banks left. Circles. Sees it again. A boy, standing in a clearing, holding something shiny. Ford's heart rate doesn't change. His face doesn't move, but his hands do. He descends. Fast. The helicopter touches down 40 feet from Cody. The rotor's slow. The door opens. Ford steps out. Cowboy hat, t-shirt, jeans. He walks toward the boy. "Good morning," Ford says. Cody stares. That voice. He knows that voice. His brain processes it. That's Han Solo. Han Solo just rescued me. "You okay?" Ford asks. Cody nods. Can't speak. Ford puts a hand on his shoulder. "Let's get you home." They walk to the helicopter. Ford helps Cody inside, straps him in, climbs into the pilot seat. The rotors spin up. They lift off. Cody looks out the window. The cave he slept in is already small, disappearing. He survived. Harrison Ford saved him. 12 minutes later, they land at the search and rescue headquarters. A temporary base, tents, trucks, 50 people waiting. Cody's parents are there. They run toward the helicopter. Ford shuts off the engine, steps out, lets the family reunite, doesn't interrupt. After the hugs, after the tears, Ford walks over to Cody, slaps him on the back, smiles. "Boy, you sure must have earned a merit badge for this one." Cody looks at him. "I already earned it last summer." Ford laughs, actually laughs. "Well, then you just earned it twice." He shakes Cody's hand, then walks back to the helicopter, doesn't wait for thanks, doesn't pose for photos, just climbs in, starts the engine, lifts off, flies home. The media finds out again. This time it's bigger. Harrison Ford rescues Boy Scout. Indiana Jones saves teen in Yellowstone. The headlines write themselves. Reporters call Ford's publicist, request interviews, offers flood in. A production company wants the rights to the story. $5 million. Ford could star as himself. Another $10 million. They send contracts, scripts, pitches. Imagine it. Harrison Ford, American hero. A 2-hour special, interviews, reenactments, prime-time television. Ford says no to all of it. Every single one. His publicist asks why. Ford's answer is 8 words. Some moments aren't meant to be entertainment. The reporters don't understand. They push harder. But the public wants to know. You're a hero. Ford doesn't budge. I'm a pilot. I was flying anyway. I saw someone who needed help. That's it. Then Teton County Sheriff Bob Zimmer reveals something the press didn't know. Ford has been volunteering for years, dozens of missions. He saves the county $1,000 per hour, the cost of hiring a private rescue pilot. No payment, no recognition, just service. A reporter asks Ford directly, "Why do you do this?" Ford's answer is the simplest sentence he's ever said. "I'm going to fly anyway, so I might as well fly search and rescue and help people." No grand speech, no philosophy, just logic. He has a helicopter. He has skills. People need help, so he helps. Sarah George becomes a lifelong fan. She tells everyone she meets about the day Harrison Ford saved her life. "He didn't have to do it," she says, "but he did. And he didn't want anything for it. No fame, no money, nothing." Cody Clausen goes back to his Boy Scout troop. The kids surround him. "Did you get an autograph?" they ask. "Did he sign something? Did you take a picture?" Cody shakes his head. "No. But I got a hug and a handshake, and that's better than an autograph." His mother later tells reporters, "That's when I knew Harrison Ford wasn't just a movie star. He's a real person, a good person." Ford doesn't attend any press conferences, doesn't tweet about it, doesn't mention it in interviews. He goes back to his ranch, back to his radio, back to his life. The next time someone needs help, he'll be there. Not because cameras are rolling, because it's the right thing to do. 14 years pass. March 5th, 2015, Los Angeles, California. Harrison Ford is flying a World War II-era plane, a Ryan PT-22. He takes off from Santa Monica Municipal Airport. 2:20 p.m., clear skies, routine flight. Then the engine fails. 800 feet in the air, the plane starts to drop. Ford has seconds to decide. Below him, a residential neighborhood, houses, families, kids playing in yards. To his left, a golf course, open, empty, safer. He banks left, hard. Aims for the golf course. The plane drops fast, too fast. He pulls up, tries to slow it. The nose hits the ground. The plane flips. Metal screams, glass shatters, silence. Golfers run over, pull Ford from the wreckage. He's alive, barely, broken pelvis, broken ankle, head trauma, moderate injuries. He's rushed to the hospital. The news breaks within minutes. Harrison Ford crashes plane. In Ogden, Utah, Cody Clausen, now 27 years old, married, father to a 16-month-old son. hears the news. He stops what he's doing, calls his wife. "Did you see? Harrison Ford crashed." Is he okay? Then he does something unexpected. He calls reporters, not to talk about his own story, to talk about Ford's character. "This guy saved my life," Cody says. "The first thing I thought was, is he all right? I appreciated what he did for me all those years ago, and I just hope he gets better and can help other people in the future. He's a genuine hero, not just in the films. He's a great man." Sarah George, now 35, hears the news too. She echoes the same thing. "He risked his life for me. I'm praying he's okay. The world needs more people like him." Ford recovers. 6 weeks later, he's walking again. Months later, he's flying again. The first thing he does when he's cleared to fly. He returns to Wyoming, returns to his ranch, returns to the radio. Today, there's a plaque at Jackson Hole Airport. It lists volunteer search and rescue pilots, names of people who gave their time, their skills, their helicopters, to save strangers. Harrison Ford's name is on it. No mention of Indiana Jones, no mention of Han Solo, no mention of movie roles or box office numbers. Just a name, one among many. Cody Clawson tells his son about the day he got lost in Yellowstone, about the cave, the cold, the fear, and about the helicopter that landed, the man in the cowboy hat, the voice that sounded like a movie. He tells his son, "Real heroes don't do it for cameras. They do it because it's right." Sarah George watches every Harrison Ford movie that comes out, not because she's a fan of the characters, because she's a fan of the man. "He saved my life," she says, "and he didn't want anything for it." That's the rarest thing in the world. 2 people, 2 rescues, 1 year apart, both of them alive today because a man heard a call on his radio and chose to answer it. Not for fame, not for money, not for recognition, just because someone needed help, and he had the ability to give it. Have you ever done something good that nobody will ever know about? Something that cost you time, energy, or risk, but you did it anyway because it mattered? Most of us will never fly a helicopter into a mountain to save someone's life. But we all face moments where we can choose to help or walk away. Harrison Ford chose to help, twice, and both times he walked away before anyone could thank him. The world remembers him as the man who punched Nazis and escaped the empire. But Sarah and Cody remember him as the man who didn't need an audience to be brave. The man who proved that real heroism isn't a performance, it's a choice. And it's a choice he made when no one was watching. And unfortunately, they don't make men like Harrison Ford anymore.